All right, college trigonometry, congratulations. This is your last lesson of the third quarter, and it will wrap up this challenging section for you, which is a lot of our trigonometric expressions. We're now doing with our product to sum and sum to product formulas. So just to be clear, as we look at this page right here, we've dealt with all of these. We did not do that area. That was the last unit. Law of cosines last unit. Law of sines last unit. Figure and identities, obviously that's been key to what we've been doing all along. We started out doing even and odd identities, that's done. Sum and difference, we practiced that the other day in class. Double angle formulas, that was a tough one. We probably need to practice a little bit more of that. We actually proved these. We did half angle formulas, that was your last video. Power reducing, we did that one in class. Conversion degrees to radians, we never did these. But today we're going to live here, okay? So I'm going to box this in red. Sum to product to sum. So how can we take the sum and write it as a product, or how can we take a product and write it as a sum or difference? So let's go to work here. First, we just want to explore the identities. So we see, I just want to make sure you guys understand where to find these. So sine of A times cosine of B, that's a product. So I'm going to look for sine of A times cosine of B. Sine of A times cosine of B, it looks like it's right here. So that's 1/2 sine of A plus B plus sine of A minus B. So I'm going to write that down. 1/2 sine of A plus B plus sine of A minus B. And I tried to remember that. I'm going to check it again to see if there was a plus or a minus there. Just make sure I've got it right. And yep, it was an addition sign. So just know to locate that at that spot. So know where to find your formulas. Then we have sine plus sine. So how do I write that from a sum to a product? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to locate sine plus sine. And that's going to be right here. This first one, sine plus sine. Looks like it's a 2 sine and a cosine, and then the A plus B over 2 and A minus B over 2. So let's try to write that down. 2 sine of something times cosine of something. It was A plus B divided by 2, and it was A minus B divided by 2. So those are the formulas. So we're not going to write them all down. I want you to see where they're located. But this should be pretty straightforward stuff. It says, write the following product as a sum. So if we notice this guy, it's a product. I'm going to write it as a sum, and it's sine times cosine. So it matches right with that one. So I'm going to use the 1/2 times the sine of A plus B plus the sine of A minus B. And so in this case, A is 4x and B is 2x. So it's 1/2 times the sine of, if we add those together, we get 6x plus the sine of, and if we subtract them, we get 2x. And that's done. That's it. No more. So I said it was supposed to be a little bit easier, and so there you have it. Here we have cosine times cosine. Okay, so I'm going to write down that cosine formula. I don't have that one written down already. So let's locate cosine times cosine. It's this guy right here. So it's 1/2, and it's cosine of A minus B, and then cosine of A plus B. So let's write that down. So it's 1/2 times cosine of A minus B plus cosine of A plus B. And we'll switch that there. All right, so in this situation, A is x and B is 2x. And notice it's being multiplied by 3. So instead of a 1/2 out front, it'll be a 3/2 out front. Times the cosine of, if I take x minus 2x, I get negative x. Plus the cosine of, if I take x plus 2x, I get 3x. Now, we can't leave it like this because you're not allowed to have a negative angle. So this negative angle causes a problem. You have to remember what you do with your negative angles, and that was your even and odd identities, which is this green one right here. I hope that you recall that the cosine of a negative, it just disappears. Same thing with secant of a negative, it just disappears. The other ones move out front. So in order to finish this off, I just write it as 3/2 times the cosine of x plus the cosine of 3x. So now we're going to switch gears. It says write the following sums as products. So I have sine minus sine. So I need to look for sine minus sine. And we've got it right here. So it's 2 cosine times sine. So we're going to go 2 cosine times sine. So 2 cosine times sine. And it was a plus b divided by 2, and it was a minus b divided by 2. That was our formula. So in this case, this is a, and this is b. So we have 2 times the cosine of, if we take 3x plus x, we get 4x. And 4x divided by 2 is 2x. And then a minus b divided by 2, 3x minus x is 2x. Divided by 2 is just x. And that's it. If we look at cosine minus cosine, find my formula here. And it looks like there's a -2 sine and then another sine. So we'll write that down. -2 sine and then sine. And it's a plus b divided by 2 and a minus b divided by 2 in this scenario. So -2 times the sine of, this is a and that's b. 8x plus 3x is 11x, so 11x over 2. And then we got 8x minus 3x is 5x, so 5x over 2. There you have it. No negative angles, so no need to worry about that, okay? All right, so kind of the last thing we're going to glance at here is find the value of the product or the sum. So 3 sine of 105 times the sine of 15. We don't have exact values for that, but if I rewrite this using a formula, like for example, sine times sine, let's see if we have one written up here. Nope, we don't have it. So I'm going to grab a sine times sine formula. And we're going to get this to work out. Sine times sine is right here. So it's 1/2 cosine minus, and then minus. There you go. 1/2 times the cosine a minus b minus cosine of a plus b. That's what we got. So that's my formula I'm going to use. You see this is a and this is b, and I'm multiplying the whole thing by 3. So we got 3/2 times the cosine of, now we get a minus b. So 105 minus 15 is 90. Yep, 105 minus 15 is 90. Minus the cosine of, now you add them together. 105 plus 15, well, that's 120. So let's find that exact value. The cosine of 90, 90 degrees puts you right here, and that terminal point is 0, 1. So cosine is the x value, so this thing right here is 0. And then for 120, that terminal point right there is -1/2 and root of 3 over 2. So the cosine is going to be the x value, so -1/2. So as I write this out, notice what I get. I get 3/2 times 0 minus -1/2. Or 3/2 times 1/2, which is 3/4. That's your result. Okay, so when you actually, so the previous ones we had expressions. We had like 4x, x, 3x, 2x. Here we got actual numerical values, so we found the exact value. So cosine of 75, I don't know what that is, and cosine of 15, I don't know what that is. But do I have a formula for cosine minus cosine? Looks like it's straight from up here. So it's going to be -2 times the sine of a plus b divided by 2. and then sine of a minus b divided by 2. So I'm going to just grab that formula from right up above there. So I've got negative 2 times the sine of, so we're going to go a plus b divided by 2. So 75 is a, and 15 is b. If you add those, you get 90. 90 divided by 2 is 45. So we got 45. And now we'll subtract sine of a minus b divided by 2. 75 minus 15 is 60. 60 divided by 2 is 30. You have negative 2 times the sine of 45. You all know that that's the root of 2 over 2. And then sine of 30. What about 30 degrees? That makes a coordinate of root of 3 over 2 and 1/2. So that means that the sine value is 1/2 of 30. Well, negative 2 times 1/2, that's 1. So I get negative root of 2 over 2. That's that exact value. So there we go. Sum to product, product to sum. There's some values. I know it's a tough unit. I can't make it easier. I'm doing my best. If you need help, let's get together. Let's figure out some math. So there you go. Last one of the quarter. Good job.